when he was writing things down or maybe reading, and as a kid wanting to be maybe in that world with him? I don't know, but you were fascinated that he would sort of disappear into the world of language.
Yes, that's very much true. My grandfather would often babysit. My parents didn't really want to pay for babysitters, so my grandmother played cards, and my grandfather would often babysit for us on Saturday nights. And my sister Lena and I just ran around. But we noticed that he was talking to himself and quietly mumbling and writing things in the backs of his books. And he seemed like he had gone into another world. And that interested me. I noticed it, and I wanted to go there too. And later it began to really affect me, but that was much later when I began writing poetry myself and started wondering, what was he doing then? Where had he gone? But by then it was too late because there was no one to tell me.
Where do you think he went?
I mean, I really have no idea if what he was writing were political poems or whether he was copying other people's poems. He was a daydreamer, so I'd like to think there was kind of reverie that he was writing about or thinking about. I later discovered Eastern European poetry, and I sometimes think that maybe he was like one of those Eastern European poets that I admire. But honestly, I just have to make it up. I don't really know. Because no one paid much attention to him doing this. They all thought it was just a sign of his impracticality. They didn't even know whether he was writing in English or not. They didn't know whether he could have been writing in Hebrew, he could have been writing in Yiddish, he could have been writing in English, but no one really even knew that. They just didn't care about it.
And all the books were tossed, right?
All the books were tossed. My grandmother said that she gave them to a Jewish charity, but I realized later that maybe they could see I was upset, and so maybe she just dumped them.
You write, my grandfather taught me to leave a crack in the shutters so you can tell it's morning, which is a lovely thing to both think about but also to say.
I love that statement. It's sort of the dark night of the soul coming to an end. This version of it leaves a crack so that you can see that it's symbolic. You can literally see that it's morning, but you can also see there's some kind of hope on the other side.
Let me just quickly reintroduce you, and then I'd love to have you read a section from the book, Important Lesson, and this is Ruby, your dad, at a delicatessen. But let me just quickly reintroduce you, and that's Edward Hirsch, our guest today on The Connection, and we've been talking about his new book. It's titled My Childhood in Pieces, a stand-up comedy, a Skokie elegy, and it's about growing up in this raucous family in Chicago and then in Skokie. And Edward Hirsch is a celebrated writer, a poet, and joins us obviously today on The Connection to talk about his childhood. Well, I'd love to have you read this section from the book.
This is called Important Lessons. At Manny's Cafeteria and Delicatessen in the South Loop, Ruby taught us that a bagel is a delivery system for cream cheese. The only seeds of value are poppy seeds. Moon strudel can change your life, but don't call it poppy seed strudel. That shows you don't know what you're talking about. Cottage cheese seems bland, but it's a binge food. You betcha. Fried salami, scrambled eggs are the best breakfast. Don't bother with soft salami. Hard salami is the only salami that matters. What's existence without a 3-pound hard salami hanging in the pantry? Don't waste space in your drink. Get ice on the side. Meatloaf with scrambled egg in the middle is a secret weapon. It ought to be illegal to serve tuna fish without pickled relish. What's the point of kugel without raisins? Cheesecake can be good or bad, but there's no such thing as bad rice pudding. It's a toss-up between Jewish spaghetti and spaghetti carbonara, but you don't have to announce it. Don't embarrass yourself and order white bread on a sandwich. If someone orders white bread, you know their family came over on the Mayflower. Don't worry about pork and egg rolls, but pork chops are not allowed. You can stretch the rules for bacon if it's crispy. And this goes just on more and more. And then it finally ends. The greatest steak in the world cannot compare to a kosher hot dog.